Welcome to Tunnel Vision. I am Adam Connor-Bourne in the studio. I'm joined today by one of our regular guests, David Scarcella. David, great to have you on board, mate.
Thanks, Eds.
And we're joined today by a very, very special guest, Marcelo Carrusca. Marcelo is currently head of football at Adelaide United, as well as being a former player for Adelaide United and playing all over the world. Marcelo, it's lovely to have you on board. How are you, mate?
Hey, how are you? Thank you. Thank you for the invitation. Hi, Adam. Hi, David.
Good, mate.
Very good.
You look
very
good.
good.
Being an Argentinian at this point in time, so it's good to see.
Yeah, looking forward for the game. I guess we are in the same boat here.
We are. I mean, you look confident, maybe more confident than I do. I think I'd go with that, but we'll maybe get into that.
You know, we are very famous about that confidence side. So
yeah,
I'm not sure if I'm feeling very confident inside, to be honest, but we'll see what happens.
Okay, so starting us off, we're down to the final four in this year's World Cup. Spain, Argentina, France and England. And it's the first time in history that all four top-ranked teams are the final four in the World Cup. I'm just wondering from you guys, first of all, do you think that's a positive or a negative? It's obviously been engineered by FIFA in the hope that we get that way. But maybe, David, I'll start with you just to kind of get us going. What's your opinion? Is that a positive or a negative just around this World Cup?
I think it's easy to say, like if you look at the draw and how it was set up, it's easy to say it was engineered, but there's nothing been engineered in terms of how these games are played out, how tight every team has had to do it. And it's been a roller coaster for every one of those teams. And if we're specifically looking at Argentina, it's been a slog. There's been points that they look really good. There's points where we're thinking, hey, they're down and out. They're out of this, the likes of Egypt, etc. So I think regardless of this sort of headline of, FIFA engineering, what's happening now, I think that all these four teams have earned the right to be here, and they've all slogged it. They've all done it the hard way.
Absolutely. Same for you, Marcel. What's your thoughts on this final four being the top four?
Yeah, look, I'm 100% agree with David. If the FIFA organized to be Argentina on finals, I wish that could be a nice way to get there, because it's been very tough game. We suffer a lot until the last minute. It's almost the last every game, I believe. So it's been a tough World Cup for Argentina. We went through every time, but now against one of the top four in the world is gonna be more difficult, I believe. So yeah, we didn't expect to end up playing those games the way that we play and winning the last minute. This is football. 11 against 11, everything can happen no matter what country, what shirt you're wearing. Everybody give the best the World Cups, and was good to be here, but yeah, still two more games to go, so let's see what happens.
Marcelo, coming back to you, as obviously a former professional yourself, how are you finding watching this World Cup as an Argentinian fan and a professional? Obviously, you mentioned previously that the games have been a bit of a slog. Do you think this is classic Argentina finding a way, or do you think there should be something that Argentinian fans should be worried about?
It's a good question. I thought it's going to be an easier pathway for Argentina, to be honest, knowing the group that we end up with and the countries we play against. I thought it was going to be easier, to be honest. And I believe everybody in Argentina have the same thoughts. I believe in everywhere, when you see the teams that we play against, you think Argentina is going to win by far, easy tournament. But everybody saw, again, no matter what country you play for, you give everything, especially against the last World Cup champion. So it wasn't an easy road for us, but now we will really need to go up and try to play our best football that I believe we haven't played yet. So hopefully it's coming next game against England.
What are your thoughts, Cello? Everyone's branding VAR Argentina at the moment. Right, so that's the general consensus, and you could argue there's been some decisions that are maybe gone your way. What are the thoughts back home on that sentiment?
No, back home, and I believe here as well. I don't know, the last red card, everybody's talking about it. I've been a player. In Argentina, we are a bit cheeky sometimes, we get famous for diving and those kind of things. And he did dive very well, that in a normal league, no one can see it. But in a World Cup with thousands of cameras, you cannot get away from that. And unfortunately, everybody saw that he did make a mistake trying to get a yellow card from an Argentinian player, but went the other way. and people can talk, but if you know a little bit about football, or maybe if you play the game, you can see how the player did it on purpose. And that's a clear red card for me. So it's no discussion. In general, the decisions I believe were okay, not because I'm Argentinian, but because I believe it's true. And not just for us, for different countries. But yeah, I don't think we need to talk about this because I think was fair. Of course, everybody have different opinions, but I think was right what happened.
Well, I think what we have here, Cello and Ads, I think we've got a situation. It's always easy to say they've got the run of the run of the draw, etc. But I think there's a few elements of play. I think you've got, and if you look at the stadium, there's Argentinian fans is clearly dominating, right? So you're talking about at this level of the game, small percentages that make the difference. So you got the fans that are up and about. I think the way the Argentinians put themselves about during the game, they're in the ref space, they're contesting, they're aggressive. And Cello, you would know, culturally, I think those little things have really helped Argentina. Like they're always looking for the edge. And really, some of these decisions, which are line ball decisions, 50-50 stuff, might have gone their way because they've been really proactive on it. So culturally, I'm just interested, as a kid growing up in Argentina, how does that differ to Australia? You know, that sort of little bit of edge that you see on the field with probably in Argentina compared to a lot of other nations. Where does that culture come from?
I think, like growing up, you have a lot of competition and passion for the game, make a big difference in the long run. Everybody want to be a soccer player in Argentina. Everybody want to be playing for first division, the debut, and it's a lot of passion on the game that you can see every single game. The difference between Argentina and clubs and countries like Australia, I believe, is that. So we don't have, we talked earlier with David as well about the passion and the exposure that the players have in the world and how the passion can grow in this country, but it's very difficult having other sports also that are important in this country. So in Argentina, 90% of the players want to be professional football players, and then some people want to be rugby players, tennis players, but everybody want to be a football player. So that is one of the main difference that we have compared with Australia. The other one is football is everywhere in Argentina. No matter what time you turn the TV on, is football. Is D, C, B, A division, is England, is Italy league, is Spain league, is 24/7. I grew up that way. I got two brothers. My father watch football as well. I grew up watching football from I come back from school to 10, 11 p.m. when we go to bed. And this is happening, and you can see at the stadiums as well. You can experience that, David, over there. Everybody's so passionate about it. Is Argentina win? Everybody's happy. Is Argentina lose a game or your team lose a game? It's the end of the world. And this is how we take it over there. So when you go, if players on the field, they give everything out there, and then people outside, they do the same. So here we take football in a different way, and there is no many passionate people around us.
Absolutely. I mean, I think coming into it as well as a non-Australian in Australia, you notice that gap. You notice that football is so dominant in the UK, coming from experience. And even when I've been around Europe, obviously Europe being what it is, whereas Australia, there is a much more mixed bag. So yeah, that's, I think, a really interesting take.
And I've experienced, and I see it, but I've experienced living in the UK, right? And it's probably very similar to Argentina. There's that culture, the football is a religion, but there's something about the Argentinians, right? And I say this a lot around why I don't think England has progressed and, arguably won as much as Argentina, a lot of other nations have over the years, especially with all the funding they've got. There's like an edge that's missing. When you watch the England team, and you look at sort of culturally how they go about their actions and mannerisms, it's totally different. And I think that Argentinian culture, that passion, that hunger, that aggression is what's really making them dominate. And you can argue that they've had that over the years. I mean, you look back to the old, the 80s and early 90s, that successful team with Maradona probably had it. It went missing a little bit for Argentina, basically because they didn't really have they had the hunger, they had the fight. They probably didn't have the quality in that period. And then you have Messi and the likes of McAllister, some of these other guys that have come on, and they brought that hunger and quality back. And that's why we're seeing Argentina dominate, and there's still those question marks over England. So, yeah, it's interesting. It'll be interesting how this game plays out and whether that. I think that cultural element has really helped Argentina get over the line. Is it enough against England? I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Just talk about England. Obviously, it was not their best performance against Norway, and we needed a Bellingham performance and double to get us over that. Marcelo, did you get a chance to watch England-Norway game?
Yes, I watched the highlights. I didn't watch the whole game.
Just from what you saw on the highlights, is there anything that you noticed, any observations that you took away as a professional yourself and as a player yourself, anything that you'd be targeting as Mexico, as an Argentinian player at this moment in time?
No, I think always thinking about what's going to happen in that game. I believe the physical part of the game, we're going to be struggling. I'm worried about that. Of course, England and Argentina, they have top players, so it's no doubt about it. But it's that part that I believe England is one step ahead compared with Argentina, having not just the age of the main players of the team, but also the amount of minutes they play during this tournament. That is my big worry, to be honest.
I mean, importantly, Bellingham's now scored twice in the last 2 knockout games. He's the first player to do that since Maradona in 1986. I wonder if that's an important statistic to come through or an important fact. A little bit of passing the torch.
You know what? It feels like there's some revenge on the horizon here, you know, and like I love, and probably a lot of people in Australia don't realise the history from a political point of view between the England, UK and Argentina. And then you go back in history from a football perspective, you've got the hand of God in 86, and you've got all this stuff that's happened in between, but there's a long standing history. Stella, how does that history stand and how does it sort of resonate and come about with the people and their viewpoint on playing England? Is it more than, and I know the manager came out and said it's just a game, but is it real?
Yeah.
Is it really just a game?
For the fans back in Argentina, no, it's not one more game. Definitely it's not, unfortunately. But we need to make sure, even Scaloni was saying to everyone, that we need to focus in what happened now, focus on the present. Doesn't matter what happened back then with the history of these big countries. Is one more game, and we need to take it as a one more game because it's a massive game for everyone. But yeah, when you go and start thinking about what happened in the past with the two countries, I think is not what we are here for. So we need to be just focused on trying to play this game the best as we can. Yeah, hopefully Argentina goes through, David, and then we'll see what happens. But yeah, I think we need to take us a one more game, and I follow what Scaloni was saying to the fans as well during the interviews.
Yeah, I think.
Did you have something to say, David?
Yeah, I just what and obviously there's a pretty big football contingent in Australia, and more specifically Adelaide. How's the mood? Like, are you guys getting get-togethers? It'd be interesting to just know how tight is that community leading up into this game?
Yeah, it's a big community here in Adelaide. There is a lot of people that get together to watch the game. Different venues that they have been invited as well. Unfortunately, with the time, it's difficult, because especially having kids, taking them out of bed to go to different places to watch a game is tougher. Even though I don't want to blame my kids, I prefer to watch a game by myself, to be honest. So sometimes with fans around or people that don't know much or about football, when you listen to some things, it's preferred to just enjoy the game myself with the family. But definitely it's a big community here. Everybody's looking forward for that game. And like I said earlier, it's a lot of history behind. So yeah, it's going to be a massive game for everyone.
I don't think we can talk about history without mentioning Lionel Messi. Now, we obviously don't know this, but maybe we do. This has got to be his last tournament. It just has to be. He's lost the ability to run. In all of his Argentinian caps, he has never played 200 Argentinian caps. He has never played England competitively. I'm just wondering how, from like the best player to ever have lived, I think it's fair to say, how it feels watching him in what is probably his final World Cup and reflecting on this World Cup itself, but then all the World Cups that have gone before and all the competitions that have gone before, Marcelo.
Yeah, he's of the country as well and in the world, I believe. So, like every player want to win the last World Cup because of him, not just because of them. And he's been playing the whole tournament, not just to play for the shirt, but also to play for Messi.
Yeah.
So hopefully the last 2 games we can play for him as well and make him again keep making history and winning another World Cup. But it's mix of emotions.
Yeah.
What I've liked it's been great to see at this World Cup. I think if you look at 2022, you had a team that much the same than with the Maradona era, we had a team that was being carried on the shoulders of Messi, right? So we saw this team literally being built around Messi. I feel like this time round, or as influential as he's been, we're seeing a team that has got more quality around Messi. What's your view on how this team has been set up? And if we're talking about from a Messi perspective.
Yeah, I think it's the biggest virtue that this coaching staff has is how to manage the whole group, how everybody understood that we need to play around Messi. And it's incredible how come back again to the passion and the desire and the hunger to do always extras and to do more. And when we talk about the defensive shape, for example, how everybody is behind the ball and the only one is there, Messi, waiting for his moment to go forward, and everybody defend and he's happy to do it, and they give everything to win the ball back just to after give the ball to him. And we can see also how this team is playing for him on and off the field, because everything that we happen on the field and off the field is around Messi. And this is unbelievable, and never see that before, and doesn't happen in other places, in other countries, I believe. And we experienced that with Ronaldo, for example, where not everybody plays for him, and the difference is been unbelievable. And I big credit to the coaching and staff, because it's starting from them, coming from their leadership, and then go through every single player at the squad.
I mean, on that point, you must scratch your head, right? You're one of the leading youth coaches in Australia, and one of the most progressive, I would argue. And and you must get it all the time. I get my 11-year-old going to me, "Hey, Dad, you tell me to always move off the ball, and you got to give and go, and you got to be, always on the move." And they're going, "But look at Messi. He just stands there, he walks around." Like, how do you find that from when you put your coach's hat on?
So the rest of us need to work harder.
Yeah.
Need to work off the ball and on the ball.
Yeah.
But one day they can become a Messi or similar to Messi, to be honest. But I believe when Messi was younger, he was doing the same things.
So if we on the Messi point, has he surpassed, or if Argentina get through and win this World Cup, does it put the Messi Maradona argument to bed? What are the general thoughts in Argentina, because we don't often get that viewpoint, and what are your thoughts?
Yeah, everybody's going to Messi now, to be honest. Before was between them. I don't want to choose anyone. But now, especially what happened in this World Cup, everybody's choosing Messi. Even I was listening Batistuta the other day. He was saying that he always Maradona, because he played with him. He saw how type of leader he was on the field as well. But Messi is different because he's also off the field, believable, which is not easy. So I think that's a big difference as well.
I would say is that I think it's fair to say that England did not play great against Norway. One thing they did do, however, was they kept Haaland out of that game relatively well. I mean, you could make some comments around that, but I think we looked generally quite poor. I think England looked generally quite poor. I think conversely, Argentina were probably guilty of the same thing in their last game. And I think I'm just interested. We've spoken on the pod a few times about when the results run out, is it the performance that pulls you through, or do you need the performance to get the results? So I'm just wondering myself, from obviously as a coach yourself, someone who's in and out of the game every day, where you think this game lies, what your prediction is, maybe around the tactical elements, or maybe around the kind of the way that the game goes through those 90, maybe plus extra time, maybe plus penalties minutes, please.
Yeah, I think like we said earlier, hopefully we can win it during the game, no extra time. Because if we go to extra time, I think we're gonna be struggling, and we show it as well. We've been very fortunate with Alvarez, for example, scoring a cracker from outside the box, but was difficult for us to find the right spaces to get through the very defensive block that I believe most of the teams are playing when they had the ball. So I think again we all need to pray that Messi does his magics as every single game, and the players around him. I believe the midfielder is gonna beat the one that beat the middle of the park is gonna be the winner of the game. I believe so. Both teams have very talented midfielders. I believe Argentina is a bit better in there, technically, but physically, I think England is a bit stronger. So let's see how we go, how we can move the ball in there, and yeah, I think hopefully Messi can do his magic and he can score a couple of goals for us, and we don't need to suffer like we have done the last 3 games.
Well, I think when you see how these two teams approach a game, I think they're both very similar. I think they're both playing a really good, solid low block when they have to. And then they're trying to get wide and use outlets when the time's right. But I mean, we said this against England Norway. We said that substitutes was going to play a massive part in it, and it did. I think when England brought on the likes of Saka, it made a huge difference. I see this game. I think if this game goes to extra time, I think just because of the mere minutes that the Argentinian boys have had to play, I think that's where we're going to see, and I think you've alluded to that, Cello, a little bit, but that's where we're going to see a real struggle. I think for Argentina to really have a high probability of getting through this, they need to do it in the 90 minutes. I think England have much the same against Norway. They'll probably have too much depth. They have so much quality to come on. And I think they'll just be fresher just because of the hard run that the Argentina have had coming into it. So it's going to be an interesting one, but I think it's going to come down to those minor details.
Yeah, if you see player by player, I'm totally agree with you. The other day, Almada came on. Argentina has been playing with 13 players the whole World Cup, and there is some talented players in the bench, but not much experience. And comparing with the England team is a big difference. That's why I prefer to win it during the 90 minutes. So let's see what happens.
Yeah, I'm building this up as the battle of the tens. I think it's been quite interesting because I think one of the things that Thomas Tuchel has mentioned a number of times is this is the team. This is all about the team. However, it's been for me the individuals that have won our games. I think you could probably argue the same with Argentina. I just wonder how important those individuals are, like you mentioned, Marcelo, and especially for England, where we have looked poor and we have looked lacking a bit of quality throughout the side. I think one of the places that looks really interesting to me is that wide battle, especially in the midfield. I think we've got some very pacey, very wide players that can take advantage of what is quite a narrow Argentina side, basically. Talking about superstars, if we move on to the other semi-final in the kind of final four, we've got France versus Spain in Dallas. Just talk to me about your feelings on that. France, I think, moving away from those teams into those superstars, France looked like the most dominant team, one of the best World Cup squads I think we've ever seen, especially that front four. Assuming Argentina do make through to the final and it is France that they play, what would you be thinking around that point, Marcelo? What's your thoughts on France as a whole?
I guess you guys have the same thoughts. It's gonna be very, very, very difficult. The front three are in another level. They've been performing very, very well. I believe it's the only team that is playing at that level. The rest of us, we are just winning some games but not playing really well. So yeah, it's gonna be tough. Even if Inga goes through, Argentina goes through, it's gonna be a very difficult final.
Yeah. I mean, French-wise, 16 goals, Mbappe's on 8. Elise looks one of the most dangerous players I've ever seen in my entire life. Having said that, Spain are now unbeaten in 36 matches. They've conceded 1 goal throughout the entire tournament. Dave mentioned on one of our previous pods that that's probably the thing that's going to distinguish them amongst all the other teams, their defensive capability. And it's a bit of a surprise. I don't think you think about that when you think about Spain. I think you think about tiki-taki, attacking football. And if the other team scores 3, Spain will score 4. David, would you just mind going through that a little bit and your thoughts on Spain? And then Marcelo, will get your thoughts as well, please. No?
Yeah, I think we spoke about that earlier in one of the previous pods. I think Spain has been right up through qualification. I can't remember how many minutes. It's like 900 minutes, some crazy amount of time.
Yeah.
They've not conceded a goal, and especially in this World Cup. So I think if we look at, we've got probably footballing wise, probably one of the most dominant teams in France. terms of setup, structure, in terms of how solid they are, we've got one of the best in Spain. So it's a fascinating contest we're going to see there. And yeah, it's going to be a great battle. I think there's more. I like the Argentina-England game more. I think it's got so much history behind it. You've got all that Maradona stuff from the past. I think England's got so much on the line. They have to do something this World Cup. And I just love the battle of the Argentinians. And that edge that they've got, it's just a pleasure to watch. So yeah, I think both games will be rippers. And then when you get to the final, who knows?
Yeah, I wish I can be there watching the game. The atmosphere is going to be unbelievable. I guess you saw, David, already how the Argentinian fans are supporting the team the whole game, before the game, after the game.
Yeah.
It happened in Argentina as well. So yeah, I'm very lucky if you are watching the game live.
Just onto that Spain team, one of the players we've got is Lamine Yamal. He's turns 19 the day before the France game. I don't think he's yet to announce himself yet at this World Cup. And I don't think he's necessarily struggled, but I think he's just not been able to get into the game for whatever reason that is. Obviously, Marcelo, you work with the youth constantly. You are always with the kind of youth of Australia, teaching them football. I'm just wondering if you're with Lamine Yamal at this point in his career and you're sat with him in that Spain dugout, what would you be saying to him right now, and how would you be kind of trying to coach him through this, what is potentially quite a difficult moment in his career, even though he is only 19? So obviously Lamine Yamal is yet to announce himself at this World Cup. He turns 19 the day before the France game. I was just wondering, is obviously you are kind of working with the football youth constantly and you're coaching them and helping them get to those next levels and reach new heights. I'm just wondering if you were sat with Lamine Yamal right now, or you were sat with him in that dugout and you were kind of trying to give him some words of advice and wisdom and so on and so forth. What would you be saying to him as an 18 about to turn 19-year-old who maybe is having a bit of a difficult moment in his career, and how would you get him kind of going again, or get him into a place where he can be as effective as he can be for that Spanish side?
Yeah, look, it's a good question. I think those players believe in themselves, know what they can do, but sometimes you don't perform the same way when you play a league, a tournament, that a World Cup is a very different environment, different players around yourself, different chemistry between the players as well, that can make a big difference. But he's one of the few players that had that magic that everybody wants to have in the team. So give them freedom to go forward. Just do the role a little bit in defense, but play with creativity, and he normally does. And just do that. He needs to do what he's been doing at Barcelona. Come back to those moments, back the memory, visualize what he have done in the future, visualize how it's gonna work, how he's gonna play the next game. And just play with freedom and the confidence. The players back him up, and the coaching staff will back him up no matter what. So I think he's an amazing player. He's not playing at his best, but still there is a couple of more games to go. So we need to be also, yeah, I would love to see him playing better and showing his talent in the last two games, because I love to see players like him playing.
Oh, Dave, you're on mute. Sorry.
I think we probably haven't seen the best of him for a couple of reasons. I think probably a little bit harsh to go, he's not announced himself. Like, the kid's 18. But I think when he plays, probably in qualifications, when he's playing for Barcelona, especially in Spain, you're seeing an open brand of football. I think, and I don't know if you've seen this, if you guys have thought the same thing, but we've seen a really mature form of defending. A lot of teams have been playing with this low block. Yeah. And there's been a strategic way that I think they've played it. It's like they hit a certain point and we all drop back in, recuperate, rebuild, and then boom, we try to go and we find our moments. So I think him as a player, he likes to have that space in and behind. He likes that transitional play. And it's almost like it hasn't really suited him to have that final third really congested. Probably is not at the level where Messi loves it. Messi can do it wherever he needs to do it. So let's see if it gets into in these next couple of games where they're up against like for like, you could argue, it might just open up a little bit, and we might see the best of him.
Yeah, I think I agree. I think he's done so well at Barcelona. He's looked so good at Barcelona. I think the difference in, not necessarily scale, but the difference in the quality that he's putting on the pitch seems different. But I agree. I think that the defensive block that all the teams seem to be employing pretty much is very advanced. It's very pragmatic football. It's percentage football, I think they'd call it in the Premier League. I mean, when I was working with the guys at West Ham, they always talked about those massive percentages and minor percentages. And it seems to me that they're playing the minor percentages and they are not giving up yards and they are not giving up space and they're not giving them angles, importantly, I think is the one that I keep seeing. They keep making that pass or that shot or that movement much more difficult, especially in those wide areas. Just getting on to the kind of more quick fire questions anyway, Marcelo. So if I could get your prediction for the 2 games that we've got coming up. So first of all, England, Argentina, what's your prediction for the game, please? And that can be either final score, how you see it going, whether it goes to penalties. Let me know all your thoughts, please.
1-0?
Argentina, England.
Of course.
Sorry, I had to go in there.
I should have to confirm.
Yeah. And then would you say any particular goal scorer?
Yeah, my dream, Messi score, we won 1-0, we win 1-0. That's it.
And in the 90, do you think it's done in the 90?
Yes. We have to.
David, from you?
I think it's coming home. I think it's coming home.
Here we go.
I think I see England.
I think in maybe the 86th minute, roughly, Harry Kane's going to run through on goal, and he's going to go up and he's going to come it through, and then we'll see if VAR chalks that out or not. If the ball potentially hits a spider cam on the way through, we don't know. Anything might happen. Same question again, Marcelo, for the France-Spain game, please.
France-Spain, 2-0 France.
Okay, nice. And then goal scorers and in the 90 or extra time.
No, 90 minutes as well.
90 minutes as well. Mbappe and Elise? Mbappe both?
Yeah,
maybe? David, same for you, please, mate.
I see it 2-2 goes through extra time and pens. Spain on pens.
And then, so we've got final-wise. Marcelo, who are you saying final? You said France, Argentina in the final, a repeat of the last World Cup final. What would your prediction be for that one, please, mate? We're getting into it, yeah.
1-0, we win extra time.
Okay, nice. Okay. David, you're saying England, Spain in the final. You said it's coming home already. I don't want to take you too far away from that.
I think it's written. It has to happen. I think England will get up. I think they'll do it.
Amazing. And then, Marcelo, you cannot say Lionel Messi. It's too much of an easy answer, but who's your player of the tournament so far, please?
I cannot say Lionel Messi.
No, unfortunately not, mate. Too much bias there.
I really like Enzo Fernandez.
Nice. Okay. Yeah.
I really like him. Yeah.
Effective. Very effective.
Well. Yeah. Let's say Enzo.
Okay. Nice. And then David, for you, I know we've had this discussion, but let's go again.
But I think it's evolved a little bit. I think with everything, we take everything into consideration: his age, what he's up against. He's always got that. Messi. It's not just Ronaldo. He's got Messi versus Ronaldo. He's got Messi versus Maradona. A huge weight on this guy's shoulders, and he backs it up. And he just, it's really a privilege to be in this day and age where we get to watch a player of that caliber. So for me, it's Messi. Perfect.
Thank you very much. I think that's all we've got time for. Thank you very much, guys. Marcelo, it's been absolutely great to have you on. We would love to have you back at some point, and then we live close to each other, mate. So let's go out and go.
Yes.
Where will you be watching the game, please?
At home with the family.
At home with the family. Late night for the kids. Yeah.
Yes.
David, how about you? Where are you going to be watching the 2 games?
I'm in Fiji, so I'll be here for the next couple of days, and then back home on Friday. So.
Nice, amazing. Thank you very much. I am Adam Connor-Bourne. This is Tunnel Vision. Thank you very much, David in Fiji and Marcelo in Adelaide United training ground. Thank you very much. Goodbye.
Thanks, boys.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
Bye.